to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Get Even. I played it on the Xbox One. It's also available on the PC and PS4. So let's start with the story. You play as Cole Black, and you are basically in an asylum at the time with this crazy headgear on that's supposed to help you relive your memories so you can figure out what happened. And by what happened, I mean you were on a job and you were supposed to save this girl who you find, and she's got a bomb on her chest, and she gives you the code. And it sounds like it basically goes off. By it goes off, obviously the bomb goes off, you wake up, and you're wondering who, what, when, where, why, and how, and you go to this facility, and they put the headgear on you so you can go through your memories to discover those things. Now this is one of those games that claims consequence matters, and the second I read that, I decided to look it up, see if that was true. And it is to a very limited extent in reality. Whether you're violent or not is really the only determining factor that changes the basically outcome of the game. You can sneak past everyone if you want to, or you can go in guns blazing if you want to. It's your choice. Now as for the audio in this game, it's actually pretty well done considering the indiness of this game. The sound effects and whatnot I enjoy, I think they work very well. And the voiceover work is not horrible. It is far from amazing, but it does work pretty well. It's, like I said, not the best that I've heard though. Now as for the gameplay mechanics, it's a first-person shooter, and you can go in shooting, or you can choose to be sneaky, and basically for me, this will kind of meld into the controls as well. Both were shit. Now I've looked at some of the reviews for this game, and it's getting pretty good reviews, but the experience I had with it, I just didn't really enjoy. I felt like the sneaking didn't work exceptionally well. They give you a mini-map that's supposed to help you sneak, but the problem with that is it basically only tells you if an enemy's looking at you or not. You can be nowhere near their cone of vision, and yes, they provide you with a cone of vision, but you can be nowhere near it and still get spotted. I mean, full-on spotted, so if you're trying to sneak through, that's a huge pain in the ass. But then if you want to go guns blazing, you can. The problem is the controls in this game are awful. The shooting is horrible. I tweaked my sensitivity, I did all sorts of things, but nothing really seemed to help. My shots were completely off place, despite the fact I was trying to get them on point. I just couldn't because the controls did not do what I wanted them to do. Now there are some interesting ideas in this game, and I do like them, and they can be beneficial. Because you're in a memory, for some reason, and I don't feel like they did a good job explaining this, you can change things in the environment. Why or how is basically fucking magic, and according to the psychologist, it's supposed to help you and you should just use it to your advantage, which I think is cheap bullshit. I'd rather a more interesting explanation. Like, a lot of the explanations I got from the psychologist throughout the game were just kind of fucking fairy dust, and I'm like, okay, so it's magic is what you're telling me. There's no intelligible way of explaining this to me. It's magical. Interesting. Which I found annoying, honestly, and it does affect the gameplay. It can make it easier to sneak about or create cover, because you can basically make a car appear if you want to, or like a box. You can make things disappear so you can sneak into a vent. But that having been said, that still doesn't save this game in my opinion. Another gameplay element is the phone, which is kind of interesting and does some things that I really enjoy, and it brings me back to a game that I really liked, where there's an investigation element. You use your phone to scan objects, to look for heat signatures, things like that, to find clues and basically progress through levels in some ways. And I really enjoy that. I love that. I want more games that do that. I really do want some more investigative games. And that's one of the few things I honestly found that this game did pretty well. Also, one interesting thing gameplay-wise is the corner shot gun. Now this is a real-life device that you can put a handgun in, and it's got a little screen on it, and you can basically, shoot around corners. And they do it in an interesting way where, like, if you're down below a crate, basically, you can put it upwards and shoot like that, which I thought was pretty cool. As I said, the controls didn't work well, or at least I didn't feel like they worked well. The movement was fine. It was things like the aiming and response time due to the aiming that was crap. Lastly, there's the graphics. I understand that it is a predominantly indie title, it is a digital release, but graphically speaking, it is not a good looking game, unfortunately. I was really kind of disappointed. I mean, the visuals in this game are just, wow, it feels almost like an Xbox game. And I mean like original Xbox quality game. Plus, there's some really janky animations. In the first level, you have to take some people down, and when they're on the ground, they're like rigid mannequin in just the weirdest, most unnatural ways. It was really awful looking, quite frankly. And it's one of those things where it can detract from the game because you're just sitting there looking at this. I really did spend like 5 minutes just looking at this. I'm like, it looks so bad. Just so unbelievably bad. So to wrap this up, I understand that there's a lot of reviews out there saying it's pretty good. Even when I was looking at it on the Xbox Marketplace, it had like a 3.5. I wouldn't give it anywhere near that. I honestly think it's a skip for the price that you're paying. It's a $30 game and I wouldn't pay $15 for it. Really, it's because it's full of good ideas, but horrible execution on all of them. The story was interesting, but poorly executed. The gameplay, interesting, poorly executed. The controls, nothing interesting there really, but poorly executed and ruining everything else. Bunch of interesting ideas like the manifesting items in the memories, cool idea. Corner shot, cool idea. Execution of all these things, horribly done. It really is unfortunate because when I first saw trailers for this game, when I first saw basically ads and whatnot for it, I was really excited. It sounded and looked very interesting, but at the end of the day, it's a skip. Okay, so in the comments below, why don't you tell me if you've watched Castlevania yet? Because honestly, I had a better time doing that this weekend than playing Get Even. Although admittedly, I was disappointed that it was only 4 frickin' episodes. I really can't wait for the second season, which thankfully it's been greenlit for. And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing in general, share, subscribe. Have a good one.